Shalom. Hope everyone is doing well. If you could give us a few minutes to get ready or come to the stream. Can you get the light, please? Say shalom. You want to say shalom? You don't want to? Come here.
Yes,
Shalom, Sister Amanda.
it's younger than I guess.
Come here, Mom.
Yes,
You saying shalom?
they don't.
Say shalom. Shalom, Sister Kay. Shalom, shalom, Sister Veronica. Veronique. Sister Zen Exploration. Shalom. This is the sister stream today. So brothers can watch. We just ask that you please do not comment, as this is for the sisters, and our head is not going to be on the stream. Shalom, shalom. How's everyone doing? We hope that you all had a very productive day. Wonderful day. Shalom, Sister Teresa. Shalom. Yes, our master normally has the family live streams on 6th day and 7th day night. Or actually, 7th day night and 1st day night. Shalom, daughter of the Most High. This is the sister stream today. I'm probably going to say that a lot in the beginning just because we have, people coming in at different times. Can everyone hear okay? Hear me okay? Sister Zion is on her way in. Yes, they are getting big. Yes, they are. Say shalom. He's over here trying to get my phone. Say inactive. Oh my gosh, so active. Okay. Shalom. Shalom, Sister Hannah. So it was a very nice day. Not sure what the temperature was today. It was pretty warm though. It cooled down kind of quickly though once the sun went down. What did we do today? Took care of our goats. We didn't plant anything today, but we were our master, he probably planted some things. Harvesting. Our gardens are doing very well. We have lots and lots of greens already, salad, and a different assortment of greens such as spinach mustards, Florida broadleaf, Swiss chard, different things like that. Collards, we've already got some of that in, and different assortment of lettuces. We have onions. Our kale is coming in, but we don't think it's quite ready yet. It probably will be in the next coming week or so. But we're having to eat greens at least twice a day, lunch and dinner. We probably should be eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner to keep up with the abundance of greens and stuff that we have in our gardens. We don't want anything to go to waste, what Yah has provided for us. Okay, Brother Corey, we will forward the message. Shalom, Sister Brenda. Shalom, New World. Shalom, this is the Sisters Chat. For sisters only to fellowship. Men are allowed to watch, but we just please ask that you do not comment, because our master is not on the stream with us. Oh, you did, Sister K? That is awesome. How did it taste? Was it different from the store-bought salad that you normally get? Yah has truly blessed us, and we are so grateful. No worries. Amazing, sweet. Yes, Sister K. Yes, our eating a salad and greens from our garden it's just awesome. It tastes so good, so different. When we wash our greens, the water is so green. And we have an abundance of onions also that we can't even keep up with. And our onions are almost as tall as us. Yes.
Shalom, everybody.
Our babies are teething also.
Yes.
The younger one, which is also the bigger one, because he has a longer gestation age. He was actually conceived first, but he just came out first. But he's bigger, and he has his first tooth already, and this one is on the way. He is teething also.
Yep, he's trying to eat his hand already.
So he just wants to gnaw on everything.
Oh, that's awesome. Shalom, Ima Bina, Ima Bina. Shalom.
Shalom, sister.
That's awesome, Sister K. I'm happy we've inspired you all. That is awesome. That's really good to hear.
This year we also have, we can't wait for the broccoli, neither can our pudding pop.
Yes.
She's been asking for us to grow broccoli since last year. So hopefully that comes in. We have a lot of different things planted this year, new that we didn't plant last year, but we expect to have a great harvest this year. Our gardens are doing so well, and we have a few new gardens that we're starting. So yeah, God's really blessing.
Yes, Sister K. We have a 2-year-old running around here too.
Mm-hmm.
This young age is beautiful, but they are a handful.
Yes.
They keep us busy.
Yes, and the 2-year-old, he is basically fully potty trained. He has a few accidents here or there, but for the most part, he only wears a diaper at night. But other than that, he goes to the restroom.
Hi, baby. How you doing? What you doing?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you all speak a little louder, please? Yes,
Okay.
ma'am, we will. We're actually trying to figure out, is there something going on with the speakers? But you all let us know if we get a little low. Sometimes we are unaware of that.
And actually, our master is going to invest in a speaker to make sure that you all can always hear us well. So we expect to be getting that here soon. Do you give details on what y'all did for him?
As far as potty training, Sister K?
I have to plant earlier next year. I have to replant a few things because Devin overwatered them. Oh. Yes, ma'am, Sister Veronique. We started early spring, even before spring. I think we started some seed starts, right?
Oh, yes.
We did lose a few things because we had an unexpected frost with our seedlings, so we lost some of our peppers, some of our tomatoes. Was that it?
Many different peppers and tomatoes, yes. We lost a few other things too.
I can't remember what they are, but
we lost our eggplant.
So yeah, when we leave our seedlings for the most part outside, even when it rains, we like to let them get a little bit of rain. Sometimes it can rain a little bit too hard, and they'll get waterlogged before we're able to go and cover them up. So we have lost some of our seeds and seedlings from that. So that is something that can affect our the seedlings and anything like that. For the most part, when we direct plant into our gardens and things, even the hard rains haven't affected any of our seeds or any of our growth or anything like that. I guess because it has a way to drain out pretty well. But we have lost some seedlings to waterlog, and a little bit to the frost, unexpected frost that we had.
Sister Veronique, also to add to what Sister Rip was saying, is one thing you can do and that we normally do is when we start seedlings, we will start multiple of the same plant, and we also stage our planting. So if we like plant, let's say, peppers, we may plant peppers this week, and then 2 weeks later we may start another set of peppers. And we're always checking our planting. Everything we plant, we're always checking to make sure they germinate in the right time frame. So if not, we can replant. So we try to stay ready in case something does happen. We already have another set coming up or coming in, and that has helped us to have seedlings that we can still transplant into our soil even if we lose some. So maybe you can do that.
And there are some things that you plant earlier in the growing season and some things that you plant later in the growing season also. So it would be good to research the things that you start maybe in the summertime and they go on to the fall. Some things go over the winter. We've had some things go over the winter, and some things you start in the early spring. So, and like Sister Zion said, we do start our seedlings in stages, and that has helped a lot also, because you can expect there to be some loss.
Shalom, Sister Crystal Kepley. Shalom.
Unless possibly you have a greenhouse, and that can greatly protect your plants and everything from the outside elements. You can kind of control what happens with your seedlings in a greenhouse. So this is the sisters chat today for sisters only. Our master is around. He's just not going to be in the stream because this is the sisters chat for sisters only. So he will not be on the actual stream with us.
Shalom, Sister Tara. Shalom, Sister Cassie. If it sounds like I'm yelling, I'm trying to be loud enough. Let me know if y'all can hear us.
And as always, the family chat with our master is most of the time always on Friday and Saturday, 7th day night and first day night.
Sister K, as far as your hot peppers, I don't think it's too late to try them again to get them started. I don't know if you've seen our videos, but if you try to plant them in the seed starts first, and before moving them to the soil while you prep the area you're going to put them in, that may be helpful. Um, or if you want to send us a message on, how you were planting them, maybe we can offer any type of information we can. Our master also make videos on what he's doing to prepare the ground and stuff, so maybe that'll be helpful as well. And soon I know we're going to do an updated video on our seed starts to show you the progress we've had, and also we're been letting you know too some things we didn't have as much progress, and she told you why already. So
As of right now, we do not have a bug problem in our greens. Last year we had what are they called? What is little
I don't even.
huh? Caterpillars?
Yeah, they were those little caterpillar looking bugs.
Yeah, there were little caterpillar looking bugs on the back of our greens that would eat those up. And then we had a lot of squash bugs on
Yeah,
our squash that we had to combat.
The little white little there's some little white little spider looking bugs.
Spider?
I mean,
Oh.
it's like white with them little legs like a spider. It's not
I
a
don't know
spider,
what
but
that
I don't know what it is. We probably don't even know the name of some of the bugs that attacked our plants. Some things got attacked more than others. We planted lettuce. Our lettuce tend to do well, and
Yeah.
bugs don't really attack them. We've had great success with lettuce. No bug problem with our lettuce at all. Our collards, the bugs love them. And every year we're fighting bugs for our collards. But our lettuce was just coming just fine with no issue, no bug problem. Um, some of our other greens are broadleaf. Our broadleaf, our broadleaf. What am I trying to say? Our Florida broadleaf. Chubby, one moment. Our Florida broadleaf. No. Mustard greens. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. I couldn't even think of the name of it. Those didn't
Sisters
get
only,
many
yes.
bugs either. They didn't get attacked as much either. Every once in a while we may see some, but they can grow for a long time without getting attacked. Our mustards, our Florida broadleaf mustards.
But this year we found, and I guess that's why they're doing so well, because we don't have that many bugs on them. Is we moved away because we normally cover our gardens and start our gardens with leaves, lots of leaves and everything, and those break down into the soil and make our soil. So what we did is when we planted, we moved the leaves away from the soil.
Oh, poor baby.
Mayo. I'm sorry.
Question, how far?
Did you want your dog? Like I said, he's teething. He was biting on my finger, so I don't know. Not sure. Okay, be back.
Okay, she'll be back. All right, Sister K. I'm sorry for that. Our daughter was talking to us, and I could not think of the name of the greens that I was referring to at the time. Shalom, Sister Sacred Visions. Good to see you. Bless you. She was talking, and I was trying to remember one of the greens that I was referring to that does not get attacked much. And I was hearing my daughter in one ear and trying to talk to Sister Ripka and lost my train of thought, but thank y'all for being patient. Sister K, you said, how far away should the compost be from the garden, or does it matter? I'm not sure that it matters per se, but we keep our compost bin. Put it that way. Our compost bin is not as close to the gardens. Ours is not very close. I was watching a garden video today, and she plants flowers around her food to keep the bugs away. That sounds like a good idea. We have bricks that we were planting flowers in. Not many came in and grew the way we thought they would last year, and I know we were going to plant some again this year, so we'll see. In the bricks that surround our garden, um, we may or may not try something like that. I know we were planning on doing it before at one point and seeing if that helps with keeping bugs away, so we're thinking about trying that, Sister Cassie. um, Mix a little baking soda and neem oil for great organic pesticide. I've actually used neem in the garden. I've never put the baking soda and the eucalyptus oil. I may have to try that. Thank you, Sister Veronique. Thank you for that. We may have to give that one a try. I did the neem oil before with detergent, um, and it did okay. It didn't do as good as I expected, but I know neem oil is supposed to be really good for organic pesticide. So maybe I'll try the eucalyptus and baking soda with it. Okay, yes, ma'am, Sister Phyllis, is good to know. Um, I actually thought you were maybe a male, so I'm glad that you told us that. So now that we know that you are a sister, thank you. Um, all right, sisters. In about 5 more minutes, we're actually going to get started on the topic. I'm going to try to see if Sister Ripka, wait for Sister Ripka to come back. But if she's not here in about 5 minutes, we'll get started and she'll be joining us again. You all saw the title. So we'll get started in about 5 minutes. So if you all have any more questions or anything, you can type some now, and in about 5 minutes, we're going to try to get started on the topic, and then we'll take some more questions toward the end, or we'll, we'll see your questions in here and try to answer as many as we can before we get off. We will try to live stream again now that the babies are a little bit older and we had time to recover and take care of things at home. We're going to try to live stream maybe every other week or once a month. That part is undecided yet so far, but it's going to either be once a month or every other week that we'll do a live stream. How long is your growing season? I don't know exactly, but we grow just fine, almost all year long. So we start late winter. We start starting seedlings, and we continue growing throughout the whole entire fall until late winter when the freezes started to come. And then some of our things survive. I mean, that's usually when we stop planting. Once it starts getting really cold here, and that can be anywhere from November to December. But I myself have not calculated our growing season per se. But I know we plant, like I said, the end of winter. We start our seedlings, and we'll just keep going all the way throughout the fall. And some of our plants we overwinter, and so some things have made it throughout the year, and we pick for the gardens. This past winter, we were still able to pick like onions. We had greens that came up late, like really, really early spring, that survived the winter. Do you all listen to we don't listen to it often or every week. We have listened to it, Sister K. And yes, we have learned something from it, but honestly, like living the way we do, once we started gardening and stuff like that, a lot of that information you will learn. My master talks about it all the time, how he's learned about why you have to prune things. I mean, because we do pruning. We have to prune our trees. We have pruned our tomato plants. You know, we do pruning and we see why. And we've been learning a lot, like when you garden, you know, you learn a lot about what the parables that the Bible uses. And we've been able to apply them to us personally. And we've learned a lot from it. Shalom, Sister Tanya. Sister Ripka was just here. You missed her, but she'll be right back. Yes, Sister K. I was just reading your message. You said, and I remember Sister Sky mentioned it could hold us back. Yes, Sister K, that is so true. But it does not only apply to you. That applies to everybody, and knowing what to prune, you know, in yourself. I mean, even here now, there's so many things that, like my sister and I do, and sometimes we can tell when we're trying to do too much, and sometimes we got to say, you know, this ain't for us right now. And sometimes we try to start new projects or get into new things, and sometimes we have to remind ourselves, like, you know, we got to prune that side. Like, we're trying to start too much and we're not producing fruit in the areas that we should be producing fruit, because we're spread out everywhere trying to do so many things, and you only could do so much. You only could give attention to so many things and do it your best, you know. So you have to know, you know, where to give your attention and stuff, and you want to produce fruit in those areas. And when we're not producing fruit, our master, you know, he lets us know, like, y'all got your priorities messed up. There's some things y'all need to just cut out of what y'all doing altogether and focus on these things so you can produce fruit, and then you could take on other things, you know. So yes. Okay, if we don't have any more questions, I could take another question or two, and then we're going to get started. Yes, a good message. I get the same message when I speak too much of about certain things. It ends up convicting me. Oh, yes. Sister Zen, bless you, shalom, and yes, that is very true. I don't think I've been able to speak to the children without getting convicted of something. It's like y'all almost use the children as a way of showing the women or the mothers where you're at fault in at that time. You'll tell your children something and you'll say, well, then why do I not do that? Or why do I expect that of them? And do I do what I expect them to do? You know, you'll be asking your children to, you need to do this and do it this way, and, you know, don't skip a step, and then, you know, you'll be convicted. That happens so often, all too often. Well, you say you help me find my search. That's so true. Sister Phyllis, I will ask my master in regards to that, or by way of the best way for me to do that, and then I'll get back to you. I don't know if you have our email, but if you do not, usually our master's email is in the description box, and you can send a message there, and in your title you could put for the sisters. If you put for the sisters, he will send it over to us, and then from that point on you can email us personally. Yes, that connection is strong. You are welcome. Okay, so Sister Rip is going to need a little more time. She's handling the little one. So I will get started for now. And then we will go on, and Sister Ripka will join us. Shalom, Sister Amanda. By the way, I didn't get to say shalom to you. Okay. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about Helpmeets and Stewardship. And I think a talk with a sister spun the thought. And then I've been asked personally, and Sister Ripka have as well, but we've been asked the questions on what should the sisters be preparing for. I know that every family right now has not like come out per se, but it can apply to you as well, because there are a lot of sisters that are looking to come out. There are sisters who are still single looking to join families. So it can apply to everybody in their own way. Um, but a sister asked a question that spun the thought. Um, I was reminded of this once she asked a question. You know, my master says the same thing, and we'll get to that portion of, you know, what he says, and how this applied to the sisters as well. And then I was out with the animals and taking care of them and seeing the needs that the animals had, and it weighed so heavy on me. Like, wow, like it brought a lot of conviction. Um, and so we thought we'd talk about it on live stream, because a lot of people are coming out, or a lot of people want a lot of things. And a lot of people are not prepared for them, including us. A lot of times that we're not prepared for them. And so that's what made us want to talk about. Well, that's one part that made us want to talk about Helpmeets and Stewardship. So generally the idea will be, when you want something, you say you want this thing, you need it, or in some sort of way, this thing is important to you. And then when we get it, a lot of us sisters, when we get the things that we ask for, we're not good stewards of it. We don't take care of it. We're not making sure that it has all that it needs. And a lot of times it's because half the time we don't even know how to take care of what we're asking for. We don't know what that thing needs. And for our sisters, you know, helpmeets, you know, everything comes back around to our masters, our heads, our husbands. We want a husband, we want a head, and we don't even know how to be good stewards of that. And we don't watch over our heads or take care of our heads in that way, but we do have a duty. We do have a responsibility, even if it's just our attitudes, our behaviors, even if it's just be how to respect them, even if it just be how to honor them. We're just not good at what we do. And a lot of times, because we've never taken the time out to learn how to be good stewards of anything, really. And that it takes time, and you have to nurture things, and you have to get, you know, everything you have needs something. There's a certain way to take care of it. And we're so used to just wanting something. And we learn a tidbit over here from mama, grandma, school, teachers, television. And we think that we're going to give all that, and we're just going to give that to our masters, or give that to whatever the situation is, the circumstance is. And we're going to think that that's enough. And it's not. And I was thinking about that, like with the goats. We all take care of the goats here. And I have a particular interest in the goats, and I go down and I give them their minerals, and I try to make sure they always have what they need. And our herd has grown, and we went from 2 goats to 11. And, you know, I'm always looking at them and like, oh my gosh, you know, they need some more type of food, or do they have enough of this, or do they have enough of that? And what do they need so their milk production could be good, you know, because we want their milk, you know, to make the things that, you know, cheeses and butters and so on and so forth. And I'm always looking into that. And even in that little thing, I was trying to be a good steward of the goat. And I felt convicted at that very moment that I was running around, researching, looking around, talking about what do they need and how can we keep up their milk production. I was already convicted. And the thought that came to mind is, that's exactly how I need to be when it comes to my master. Do I run around like that when it comes to my master? Do I run around like, okay, am I giving him all that he needs? Am I doing everything that he wants me to do? Am I running around researching every 5 minutes to make sure that he has what he needs? Or making sure I take care of the things that he needs me to take care of? And that's when I was convicted. And then that conviction hurt too, because, you know, sometimes you think that you're giving everything, that you're giving all of everything. And when I was, you know, looking after the goats, you know, in my mind and in my heart, I'm doing it so I could be a good steward for my master. You know, our master is entrusting us to take care of his animals and for us to put in our best effort. And that's what I want to do. I want to make sure if he's entrusting me to make sure that they are dewormed or that they have certain things they need, or to let him know when they're lacking in something, I'm trying to do a good job at it. And when I was doing that, just like that, I was able to be convicted again because, taking care of the animals, taking care of all these things that we are here to take care of, even the children, our masters is our first priority. And I think sometimes we don't keep that in the forefront of our minds. Our masters are our first priority. And so that's what spun that thought about helpmeets being good stewards. So you have to ask yourself the question, are you being a good steward of what you have? Starting with your master. And when you think about your master or your head, you're thinking about it in the terms of, are you the same way you would when it comes to something that you like to do or something that you want? When you want your master, when you want animals, or when you want anything that you want, are you going to be a good steward of it? Do you know how to use it? Do you know what to do with it? Are you taking care of it? Do you even know how to take care of it? And if you don't know how to take care of something, are you doing the research or looking into it the way you need to so you can take care of it? And so that's what this is all about, and that's one of the problems that we're having with our marriages. That's one of the problems we're having even as mothers. Some of us mothers pride ourselves in the way we care for our children, but we're not even being good caretakers of our children, the way we're supposed to. We're not being good stewards of that. If our husband's given us something, can we go to our masters and he is giving us something? Can he come to us and look at the things he's given us and saying, you are being a very good steward of what I've given you? Can he say that to us? Or if he comes to look at some of the things he's given us, is he going to say we're not doing a good job taking care of it? I'll share something. It's very simple, but my master had to get on me before about, and it's taken care of now, but it wasn't at one point, and he had to get on me about it. And, I told him that I wanted cast iron, because living out here, we cook a lot on our rocket stove, and cast iron just happened to work the best out here. We love cast iron here, and we have so much cast iron. But here's the thing. When at one point he had bought me a cast iron, like a griddle, and it was like two sides that you can use. And he was disappointed at one point because it was in our trailer where we store things, and it had rusted. And he was like, "You asked me for this cast iron, and you allowed this cast iron to rust. Like, what's the point of me getting you these things if you're gonna let it sit here and rust?" And I'm like, "Oh, well, I cleaned it, and then it rusted again." And he was like, "It's your job to take care of it. Why didn't you not take care of it? If it rusted again, clean it again, oil it again, figure out what you need to do to protect this cast iron. Don't just let it sit here and rust." And so, that was me not being a good steward. Here I am asking for cast iron, telling him how important it is that I have cast iron and that it will help us in our duties, in our cooking and stuff. And he took the time, he spent the money, he went and got the cast iron, and then I allowed it to rust. And then he's like, "Well, if it needed to come into the house, you should have let me know that this was happening so we could bring it in the house, but you don't just let the stuff sit there and rust." And, and that's something that I had to deal with. And, now it's not sitting here rusting. It is in the house. It's oiled. It's clean. But, and then recently my sister and I asked our master for more cast iron because, he wanted to upgrade our pots. Because we're doing so much cooking outside now. And, we wanted different pots, and my sister wanted different cast iron pots, and I wanted different cast iron pots. And it was really interesting because he's like, "Okay, see what pots you need and let me know what they are and the price." And he was going to determine whether he was going to buy them or not. And then he looked at the pots, and he told us which ones he will buy and which ones he would not buy. And right before he placed the order, he looked and said, "Where's that cast iron griddle?" And he was like, "I want to know where that cast iron griddle is. Is it rusted somewhere? Because had it been rusted, he wasn't going to get us the cast iron." And he told us, had the cast iron griddle was somewhere rusted and not taken care of, he was not going to get us any more cast iron. But we were able to show it to him. We went to the show, showed him that the cast iron was been taken care of, that there was no rust, and then he placed the order. So a lot of times something that may be holding us back, Sister Kay, you were just mentioning about pruning and the video that the Murrays did about pruning, and us learning about pruning, and if we don't prune, how it's holding us back. But it's not just pruning. If we're not good stewards of things, that's holding us back. You know, because just like that, had we not taken care of that cast iron, that would have held us back from getting other cast iron pots that would have been really beneficial for us, all because we weren't taking care of the one we had. And that would have held us back. But just because we took care of it and because we dealt with the issue and we started taking care of the pot, our master got to see it and then he blessed us and he got us more cast iron. So it works the same way. Um, Sister, I had some situation about taking care of my stuff in my head. Yes, Sister K. Yes, and I mean it happens in everything. It can be as something as, and I don't know if it's considered small or big. It can be something as small as cast iron. It could be in anything that we have. It could be just be our clothing. You know, we got to be better stewards to all the things that we have. And you know, I've been really hurt lately. You know, thinking about am I taking care of the things that I have to the utmost? You know, the highest. You know, especially my master. You know, and I was very excited when he could see that we took care of that cast iron and saw that we were now being a good steward of that. But that shouldn't even been a problem. You know what I mean? And when we see that situation, now I'm examining all situations. You know, am I been a good being a good steward of this that my master gave me? You know, and why would my master continue to give us more? Why would your master continue to give you more if you won't even take care of the things that you have? And sometimes, you know, we'll think, well, because we don't have this and because we don't have that, we can't do certain things, or that's why we're not progressing. And the truth may be, no, we don't have all these other things because they know, our heads know us well enough to know, I'm going to give it to you, but you're not going to take care of it. So I'm not going to just keep giving you stuff for you not to take care of it. And so that's where the stewardship, you know, we have to be better caretakers of everything that we have, because everything we have we likely don't deserve. It's a blessing to have a master, a head, a husband to begin with. It's a blessing to have the children that Yah allowed us to have. It's a blessing to have the homes that we have. It's a blessing to have the cast iron pots. If you're on a homestead, it's a blessing that we have the chickens and the goats and because we have all this stuff. I mean, we've been blessed abundantly. But if we're not going to take care of it, what's the point? What's the point, really? If you're not going to take care of it, we want these things to do. You know, it's like when you have animals. You know, let's say chickens, for instance. You want chickens, and you want them to lay you eggs. You know, you want the highest production of eggs they can give you, but then you're not going to give them the calcium they need. So if you're not going to give them the calcium they need, why do you want the chicken to go through the work of producing all these eggs so you can eat them, but then you won't even give the chickens their calcium? You know what I mean? Like, or you don't even know that they need calcium. You know, or anything else that they may need, that, you know, in their nutrients, that's going to allow them to produce the eggs that you want. You know, same thing with anything that you have, any animals. You want the dogs to protect you. You want them to be nice and strong and to fight off any other animals or things like that. But then you're not going to feed the dog, or you're not going to feed the dog well so he can be nice, healthy, and strong. He or she, whatever. The animals be nice, healthy, and strong. And that's with anything that you have. And that's what I was looking at with the goats. And then that's when I realized it went back to me, conviction about, well, are you doing that with your head? You know, are you making sure you're doing all that you need so he can, you know, you're doing your part? What would you have to add to that, sis? Welcome back, by the way.
Thank you. I'm not. I'm convicted also. Shalom, Sister Tanya. Yes, but I agree with everything that Sister Zion has said. You learn a lot from coming out and actually living it. Think the Bible comes to life.
Oh, we can keep going.
Oh, I thought you showed me
No.
Oh, the Bible comes to life. We were just speaking about that the other day with our master also. Because I don't know if he mentioned it yet. He probably will. About the reason why Yah, you know, told the Israelites not to eat the fruit trees for the first 3 years. You know, we came to my master came to an understanding and revelation of that just by living out here. And I asked him, I said, would you have even, you think, gotten that understanding or revelation had you not come out? And he was like, no. And it is something that's very simple. But being a good steward and actually, knowing what that is, coming out, it gives you a new understanding and able for you to actually see it in action and actually know and understand what that means. Um, Shalom, Sister Angela, and shalom to everyone that I didn't get a chance to say shalom to while I was feeding the baby. But I'm convicted also. I guess it took a different turn from what being a good steward, the original, what we were going to talk about. But being a good steward, yes, of our master, I'm actually convicted every day because I know that I'm not doing what I can do, what I should do all the time. Um, so I have to keep myself lifted in the spirit because I'll get very down on myself very fast. And one thing I don't like to do, and maybe that's something I have to work on, is I do not like letting my master down in any way. And if I find that I do, I want to remove that burden from him because he deserves much better than what I've been, giving him. Um, the attention that he deserves, the love and care that he deserves. He deserves way, way better than um, what I give and what I can give. Um, so yeah.
Sister K, I'm sorry. I thought I had a tick. Let me tell you, when we work out here in these fields, there's ticks. And just before the stream, we were working and we were outside and we're cooking food and we're in the fields and stuff. And man, before you know it, there could be a tick crawling on you. So I thought I had a tick crawling on me. I was about to scream on stream like, ah! I was like, Sister K, I was gonna say yes. That's what I was saying. Oh yes, you're hitting all the points that I wanted to hit. And I was going to talk about this in like the broad spectrum, but it always leads back to your head, in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, being a good caretaker of the children, those are his children, and you got to be a good steward over, they may have come through you and you are the mother, but you still got to be a good steward of your children. And we're trying to teach the children that as well, while they're young. Since coming out, we've learned more, and I think you can agree, we learn more of how much care everything needs since coming out. When you're in the city, there's just so many things taking care of things for you. You don't really have to do anything. The city makes you lazy. The city keeps you from having to really think, for the most part. But when you're out here and especially how we live, we're off grid. Everything we do, majority of it, we try to do ourselves. We try to put our hands to everything that we do ourselves. Where in other places you have people coming in and taking care of it for you. You got dishwasher washing dishes for you. You got the water companies giving you water. I mean, we go collect our own water. We bring it in. We have to heat up our own water on a stove to wash our own dish, to wash our dishes. We have to go here. We collect our own soil. We make our own soil. We do so much. We try to do as much for ourselves that no one else have to come in and do it for us. And when you do that, when you are raising your own food and you're doing things like that, you realize a lot of work goes into this stuff. We've been learning some lessons, man. We've been learning some lessons. These animals are teaching us a lot. The gardens are teaching us a lot. More recently, this is the first year where we have chickens, and our chickens are big enough now to where we slaughter our own chickens. And we had to even learn one hard lesson with one of the chickens we had. It got killed. And if you don't process the chicken fast enough, your chicken's gonna go bad on you. And it's a certain way you have to process it. And if you don't get it processed the right way, if you don't drain the blood the right way, if you don't get it gutted the right way, or get it gutted fast enough, your chicken will spoil on you and stuff like that. And we had an incident where we gutted our chickens on time, we processed it, we cleaned them, and the chicken lasted a long time. So we thought that this other chicken that we had to finish processing, We waited an extra day longer than we should have, and we thought we were gonna process it the next day, and that chicken was blue. And we weren't gonna process the chicken, and come to find out you can't wait that long. And if the chicken would last if you get it processed fast enough. You get it gutted and you remove the guts and do all that stuff. Get it clean, then it will last longer. But you have to do the first part, relatively fast. You got to get it drained. You got to cut it open. You got to remove those intestines and the guts and all those great things. Clean it up, and then the chicken will last. And we had to learn a hard lesson, because that day we were going to cook that chicken for dinner, and the chicken was blue. And then we had to be disappointed, and we had to disappoint our master, because we weren't good stewards, because we were supposed to process it a lot faster than what we did, and we had to let him down, because that was supposed to be for dinner, and it threw off our whole day, because then we had to run around, but oh no, we got to make something else for dinner now. And he was looking forward to that chicken, and then he's like, I'm not spending money on birds and chickens and stuff for y'all to waste it.
And food to feed them.
And food, yes. And he's like, he fed that chicken for like 9 months. And bird feed is not cheap. Feeding these birds wasn't cheap, and this is before, like, now we're free ranging them a little bit, and we still feed them partially, and then we free range them now. But even then, he spent money raising that chicken all this time, and then that chicken went to waste, just like that. So we had a hard lesson there. And then we just had 3 more chickens that recently need to be processed, and we made sure we got to process them chickens quick. We made sure that the job got done, because we didn't want that to happen again. But it was a hard lesson learned. Anything you want to ask me? Okay, we're going to look at some comments for a moment. Sister K, you said about being a good steward over our children and over our bodies. That's a good one too, Sister K. That's a good one too. We've been working on our bodies here the same way, and after giving birth and losing the weight and trying to get our bodies together, we want to be a good steward of that as well. So yes, that is a good one. Let's see, it's Sister Cassie. I get convicted that I can do more. I so want to find a job and help with the burden of debt that this move accumulate. Girl, these ticks are crazy. Yes, the ticks are crazy. And winter didn't kill them off this past year, so they're like everywhere. Yes, you're right. Yes, we did that in Haiti with the chickens. It is a lot of work.
There are some natural tick sprays that you can, spray on your body and stuff like that to help with the ticks, such as apple cider vinegar and things. So maybe you can look some of that up to kind of help with the ticks a little bit.
Yes, we've used apple cider vinegar. We need to be more probably faithful, but we use like apple cider vinegar and water. Actually, one year we just used part apple cider vinegar, part water, and we reduced the amount of ticks that were on us regularly. And sometimes we use a little bit of coconut oil and then spread ourselves with apple cider vinegar, and that worked pretty good.
Okay, she said she made some oil.
Yes, it does. It does pretty good. But you know what? It doesn't do anything for, Sister Cassie? The mosquitoes. How are the mosquitoes doing for you? Please let me know. And if you found something that works for the mosquitoes, please let us know. We would like that. Right.
This is the sisters chat. Not sure.
Oh, okay.
This is the sisters chat for sisters only. Today, normal family chat with our master is on Fridays and Saturdays. So this one is for the sisters, and the males can watch as long as we ask that you don't comment in the sisters chat for today. Lemon balm, I know that is who said that? Mother Kate said it was a bug repellent. Crush it and rub it on your skin. or make a spray.
Citronella. Yes,
Lemongrass.
that's the one we were going to invest in, some
Yeah.
citronella oil, and make some sort of a spray or an oil to
Mhm.
rub on our body for the mosquitoes.
Is the marigolds the one to keep away the mosquitoes?
That's one of them. Yeah, marigolds.
Yeah, we heard that marigolds keep away the mosquitoes. So we need to we tried to plant some. They did not come up though in our flower garden. So maybe we'll get with our master and see if we can try to plant some more and see how those work.
Yes. Okay, on stewardship again. Now I want to use a different angle. I went to talking about the wives and the stewardship of the family. Being a steward, good steward, and the way you deal with your husband, your children, or just taking care of the things that your husband or master provides for you. Help meets. But now I want to take it just a little bit different before we finish on stewardship, and I am going to read some scripture on it. But one of the things I wanted to say is for the single sisters, um, I hope, you know, a, a lot of the single sisters contact our family and other families,
Hmm.
and they want to either be married or join a home that's already running, or and be another help me. And you know everything that you want, you're gonna have to put in work. If you join a family, there's work to be put in, and you're gonna have to be a good steward as well. And if you are single, this is the time. This is the prime time
Hmm.
for you to work on those sort of things. Learn from the women who are already covered, because none of us women that are covered, a lot of us, none of us are perfect, and we are learning, and we are having these trials and errors. And it's not always easy to share every one of your mistakes or a lot of these mistakes with everybody all the time. But we're interested in our sisters and the sisters growing and changing and learning. And since we don't just have holy women of Israel just walking around all around us who could teach us the way the scripture tells us in Titus 2 about the aged women teaching the younger women how to be good wives and mothers and things like that. We have to learn kind of by us sometimes failing. Sometimes we're failing and we're learning from our failures, or we're learning from someone else's failure. We're having trial and error. And I used to talk about that a lot, trial and error. And sometimes we have to learn that way because we don't have age. Badger, really? We have to learn that way because we don't have the aged women teaching us sisters how to be uh, um, set apart the way Yah intended, um, and teaching us how to love our husbands properly and loving our children properly. So we have to unlearn a lot of things that we learn so we may learn the right way. And use these videos or and whoever else you listen to that teach you, about being a wife or help me, as your edification, single sisters. When you're contacting us, please use the information from the videos. I can't tell you enough how helpful that will be. And learn from the mistakes that we share with you. Learn from other people's mistakes. Learn from your own mistakes so you don't have to continue to make them over and over and over again. And that way, when you join someone's home, you can be more prepared. And one example, I mean, maybe Sister Ripka could share it in detail, but Sister Ripka is a prime example. There's so many things that she has come in and that she has just been able to be more of a blessing. And yeah, there's still things she learns, but she's been able to be more of a blessing because she knew she wanted to be a part of our master's house. And she listened to the videos, and by her listening to the videos, she learned. And would you like to share a little bit of some stuff that you were just like what you did to help you learn, so when you came, your learning curve wasn't as hard as other people's?
Um, yeah. So before me and my master got married, I listened to his understanding of the Bible was what attracted me to him, and how he broke down the word. And I was in search of um, understanding polygyny, and how to be a submissive wife, and those are the things that he spoke on. So a lot of the teachings and things that he did, I listened to and I applied them to myself. And so they have helped me to come into his household with those understanding of, you know, the things that he wants in a wife and how he runs his household and what he expects of us. um, so, you know, those single women, like Sister Zion was saying, that if you are wanting to be married and to join a household, you can, if there is a person that you would like to join that household, one thing you can do is to speak with their wives, if you are allowed to, and if they do have wife or wives already, speak with them to, you know, learn the husband, learn how he runs his household, what things that he expects, and what his vision is. Um, ask people who know that person, and also, you know, speaking with the person that you would like to join their household and see what they expect and see what their vision is. Oh, it was Maya.
Yes.
Oh, I thought it was me. And just to learn that person and learn the things that he would like in a wife, things that he needs in a wife, things that he needs for his vision. Who? So those are the things that single sisters can do in order to prepare and to learn how to be good stewards over that husband and over the things that Yah will bless them with, can bless them with. Because I know that's something that I am working on, is being grateful for what Yah has blessed me with and to be a good steward over what Yah has blessed me with my master, and having a husband to cover me, um, being able to come out, being a good steward over the homestead, over our children, over our animals, just everything that Yah has blessed me with. I am convicted of, and I am asking Yah to help me to be more grateful for the things that He has blessed me with, and the things that He has placed on me, placed in me to be a good steward over, because I don't deserve any of it, and it's almost like it's just been freely given to me. Okay, you prayed for these things, you've wanted these things, you've wanted a good husband, a righteous husband, you've wanted children, and He's blessed me with a child that came through me, my first child, with my husband. And so I'm just reminded daily that I need to be more grateful and to be a good steward over the things that Yah has blessed me with and given to me. And because I don't deserve it, I didn't earn it or anything like that. So I need to be grateful despite anything that that maybe bother me. I feel that maybe rubbing me the wrong way, or I feel that is not, I don't know, that may not be right in my mind and my understanding. Um, so yes, I hope that answered or helped someone that is looking to join a household. Even being a good steward and grateful and thankful for my sister. I'm learning daily to be a good steward over her. Sister Zion is looking for a scripture right now. But does anyone have any questions so far about, the things that we spoke on? We could take some questions and then we'll probably be wrapping it up here soon. We hope that this live stream has been edifying. Our first live stream this year.
First live stream back. I was gonna say, can you just
So lemongrass oil or lemongrass helps repel bugs. And what's the difference between lemongrass and lemon trees? What's lemon? Oh wait, no, because Sister Sky gave us some lemongrass. What was the most difficult thing to adjust to in polygyny? I guess for me it would be joining the household. Hold on one moment.
You know that's gonna have to be explained.
Yeah. Okay. Was trying to wipe the lens off a little bit because it looked a little blurry. But it would have to be joining an already established household. Like Sister Zion and my master have been married for 10 years. They've had 5 children. What did I say?
He said, I left you for the walk outside that. It's complete.
Okay, you two go back there. They're coming in. We'll talk
And I don't know, for me it has been just trying to adjust in a way of fitting in, and getting and not feeling rejected. Because of my master and Sister Zion's already established relationship, I'm new coming in, so I'm having to establish and adjust to joining their family. I don't know if that kind of answers your question. Sister Zion has been homeschooling for years already. She already has established lesson plans and what she does with the children and those things. What else? She's already been on the homestead, and doing things, establishing gardens and doing things on the homestead and with the family. So just learning how to find my place. I think that has been the biggest thing for me. Did I answer your question, Sister Vina?
Yes, it is. He's eating my hand. He's still teething. He's just eating on my hand.
As a new mother, it's finding the balance, especially on the homestead, since it's so many things to do that we have to get done. Planting the gardens, establishing the garden, taking care of the animals, taking care of the household, taking care of my master, serving my master, and also tending to the baby. male seems very needy. It seems like I can hardly set him down without him fussing and him just wanting to sit in my arms or sit in someone's arms. Um, and then right now it seems like he's he's gotten picky as to who he wants to hold him and who he doesn't want to hold him. So not just any one of the children can hold him and sit with him. He's very picky, and everyone has a lot to do around here, so it's hard to just have um, just anyone hold him or take care of him or calm him down or anything like that. So it's just finding the balance in caring for him and taking care of everything that we have to do on our homestead, the home, and our master, serving my master also, and not having him feel neglected in any way, or that I'm putting the baby before him. And then the other part of your question, and the most rewarding, is just seeing him grow. He's already growing so fast and coming into his little personality, and then also um, he is the first child that I had, and just knowing that Yah, saw fit to bless me to be able to bring forth a child at 34, 34, 34. No, it was 35.
35.
I'm sorry. 35, bring forth my first child, with, no complications, having him naturally at home, is just a blessing. All right, shalom, Sister Cassie. Uh-oh.
Yes, I have it already. I just wanted to get it from Yahshua.
No.
This water's cold in here.
Okay, and okay, there's like really a lot of different scriptures that we can use, and I wanted one that was more fitting, and I can read it as well as do the comments, but I'm not gonna be able to do that this time right this moment. But here's one that this one, there's a lot of scriptures about stewardship. You have to read them and apply them to your life as they fit. This one we'll go with the stream, and it says as Proverbs 27:18. I apologize. Proverbs 27:18 says, "He who tends to the fig tree will eat its fruit, and he who cares for his master's will be honored." Be honored. Let me reread that. I'm sorry. He who tends to the fig tree will eat its fruit, and he who cares for his master will be honored. And another one in regards to what we were talking about today, let's go to First Corinthians 9:17, and there's another one in First Peter 10. But in First Corinthians 9:17 says, "For if I do this voluntarily, I have a reward. But if it's against my will, I have stewardship entrusted to me." And so, in that first one, let's start with the one in Proverbs. This one is the one that you learn in homesteading a lot, that we talked about a little bit earlier. Please, thank you. Because he is hitting me and popping me. I'm like, he's blocking my screen. We were talking about earlier, if we have things and we're not taking care of it, what's the point of us having it? And some of these things, like we said with the chicken that we use for an example, and we use our goats and we use our animals for an example, but we can even use it, just how this one talked about the fig tree, but you can apply it to gardening, you can apply it to anything. If we don't go out there and be good stewards of these gardens, or even our seed starts, and we don't go water them, what we have seen has happen.
When we don't water them?
Yes.
They are dry. The soil is so dry, and the seeds don't come up,
or they hard die. And they die. and our little seedlings die. And that has happened to us before. You know, we wanted to plant all this food. We've asked our master for seed, and oh, I want this food planted and that food planted. And if you take care of the plant, you'll be able to eat of its fruit. You know, if you take care of the things that you have, it's gonna take care of you. That's basically the point. You know, like we were talking about earlier with the chickens. You want the chickens to give you eggs. You want these nice eggs, but if you don't take care of that chicken and give it everything it needs, you're not getting them eggs. It's not going to take care of you. You're not going to get the fruit, which was healthy eggs, or where they're producing a lot of eggs, so that it feeds you. And a lot of times we want to put half efforts into things, and want to. My master says this all the time. We want to put like little effort and want maximum return. You know, we want to put a little effort and we want the biggest return. Like, we want this great outcome to happen. And he's like, I don't know why you ain't even putting that much effort into it. And I think that's one of the things, as you were saying earlier, Sister K, about pruning ourselves. One of the things about things hold us back, you know, like I said earlier, it's more than just pruning. It's pruning, but it's also really just taking care of what you have. If you want to return from anything that you have to take care of it. You got to be a good steward of it. Like the scripture was talking about, you know, if you tend to the fig tree, you will eat of its fruit. That's true with anything. If you tend to it, you have fruit from it. We take care of these animals, they will do what they need to do for us. Whatever we're trying to get from it, we'll get it. If we give it what it needs first. You know, these animals need certain things so they can produce their eggs or their milks or their whatever. If your dog, you want the dog to protect your property and stuff, he has to be nice and strong, can't be walking around there weak and unfed and malnourished, and then you want, like, go protect me, come on. That dog ain't doing nothing. That dog, like, I ain't got enough energy to do all that, you know. And that's the same thing. If our masters are investing enough, if they're putting it to us, they want a return. There's something we should be able to give them. And that's what we need to do as well. So we have to be a good steward. If we want the fruit, if we want our masters to love us and care for us and do all those things, then we need to do our part. We need to take care of our end as helpmeets. We need to make sure we're meeting his needs. And that way, we'll get the return that we're looking for as well. Is there any more questions? Okay. Yes, Sister Cassie, I just saw your message. Good night and shalom. Is there anything that we can send to your homestead for the babies of the family? Sister Ema Bina, do you have our email? Oh yeah, she's in the sister chat. You can send us a message in the sisters chat or in the private IMs. Is that
On
what it's called?
WhatsApp.
On WhatsApp. Oh, thank you, Sister Tara. That's awesome. Sister Tara, we're gonna try to stream. I said it earlier. I'm not sure if you were in the stream yet. That we'll try either once a month or every other week. We'll confirm it with our master, and we'll we'll let you all know what we're gonna be doing, whether it be once a month or every other week. As time allows. Sometimes we just be so busy, especially in the spring and summer and fall. You know, we're like busy. We're constantly going, but we will be streaming again more often. Sister Ema Bina, in your question of what was the most difficult thing to adjust to in polygyny, was that for Sister Rivka? Was that for both of us? And was your question answered? And while I wait for Sister Ema Bina's response, do any of you all have any other questions? Shalom, Sister Biddy Boo. Shalom.
Shalom.
How are you today?
Yeah, she said.
Okay. I got your answer. She said he looks so cuddly and chunky, but yes,
He does. He's
he
so
is
squishy.
a chunker. He is a chunker. So Sister Ema, being the hardest thing to adjust to in polygyny for me, I would say it's probably getting used to doing things a particular way. For the longest time, it's just been me, and for the longest time, I've been trying to learn how to do different things, different tasks. Um, for a long time, for what I knew, at least in the beginning, and then I'm trying to figure out how to put it into words. For the longest time, it's been me. So I'm cooking, I'm cleaning, I'm learning how to make soap. I want to make soap for the family. So there's a lot of little things I like to do, and there's a lot of things that I've been doing for the family myself. And so a lot of times, because I've been doing these things and I've been learning new things on how to do it and working in different areas, because it's not like I was good at all these areas. It's just that I had to do them. And there's research I've been doing on certain areas and things like that. So I had to mostly adjust to, which was a little bit hard, to when there's another help meet or multiple help meets. You can't do everything, or those help meets like to do some of the things that I like to do. And so sometimes it's hard to balance both of us doing those tasks. That might be a little challenging sometimes, or remembering that, hey, you don't have to take on this whole task yourself. You have somebody there to help, or maybe sometimes that they really like to do it and so do I. And so sometimes we're having to balance, who's doing what, and we're both trying to get to something, trying to get to a task that we both like to do. Um, and so since sometimes I'm used to setting up, like even when we work in the kitchen, sometimes I set up a certain way that better helps me, and my sister sets up a certain way that better helps her. And sometimes we have to take a step back and say, okay, well, what is the purpose? Or we're trying to do whatever works. We want to do what works. So in the kitchen, it's about what works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't matter if it was my way that don't work or her way that don't work. But we got to get rid of what doesn't work so we can find what does work. And so that was probably the hardest part at first, just adjusting to, I'm just used to it being me. So I've never really been challenged in the area of everything that I do. It's met with, somebody else maybe have an idea or something, and it's like, well, let's just do it like this. And that was maybe the hardest part. I won't say that's the hardest part anymore. A lot of times, if I see something else, I try to back up and observe and say, okay, well, maybe their way works better. And so, and I'm okay with that. And if their way doesn't work better, like I've talked to Sister Rivka, and we've had multiple conversations, about, we'll talk about some of these areas, or I'll pull her aside and say, okay, well, if you want to do it this way and it works better, we can do that. And if it doesn't work better, then we're going to have to change it up so we can find something that does work. And so I'm more likely to do that now. So that would be the hardest part, the biggest challenge. I know it can't be easy with all that work that needs to be done around the homestead. Completely understand. Oh yes, there's always a lot of work. He said, mouth is the most attractive part of the baby. So sweet. Sister Tanya, that's funny. I know they always have a juicy, watering mouth. Yes. And she put a rose. I appreciate the transparency of you both. Yes, ma'am.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. One of my concerns about coming out is my daughter, who is a child bearing age, having a child at home. Yes, ma'am. Sister Phyllis, what do you mean by your question? Or were you just sharing that? Did you want us to chime in? Did you want some advice, or? And while I'm waiting for Sister Phyllis' question, oh, okay. That's not.
There is a childbearing age.
Mhm.
Having a child at home. Your daughter has a child at home?
Yeah. I will tell you this: if you can search out on YouTube or online of a movie, a video. I always suggest this because this helped me. Search out on YouTube. It's called The Business of Being Born. That was a good place to start for me. Someone had suggested that to me a long time ago, some years back. And after watching that video, my whole attitude and perspective changed. I knew I wanted to do a natural a birth. After having C-sections, I was a little bit concerned initially, but I knew I didn't want to have any more C-sections. I wanted to have it naturally. My master was on board with that. We were both, in agreement with that. But sometimes it can be a little scary. After watching that video, I have no more fear in that area. I was no longer concerned about that. In fact, I preferred it that way. So I don't really believe that that's a concern you will have if you educate yourself a little bit more on having home births or natural births and not being at a typical hospital. I'll put it that way. But watch that video, The Business of Being Born, and see if you feel the same way afterwards.
And what, getting a midwife book?
Yes, and maybe getting a midwife book. That may help as well. It'll teach you a lot if you learn about, going to a typical hospital or even having midwives, giving birth with midwives. I mean, your perspective will change a lot. Okay, Sandra, how has homesteading been with new babies? I seen Sister Rivka with the baby on her back. That doesn't look easy.
I would say it's not easy, actually. Has taken some adjusting, getting to, especially since Mayo. It seemed like he hardly wants to let me put him down. I can't set him down for long, so most of the time I'm having to set him on my back or do things with him on my having him in the baby carrier and things. We recently got jumpers for the boys, and hopefully that'll help us. Yes, Master.
Oh yeah, I'll grab him. Okay, she's in the middle of talking, but she had to go get the baby real quick.
Yeah, it's learning how to work with the boys.
Yeah, Sister Kate, yeah, carrying on the back. I mean, it like depends on the task that you're doing. If they're calm and stuff like that, sometimes it's not as hard, but sometimes it can make you, you slow down on some of the tasks that you are doing. But I do like sometimes when they're in the back after they're fed and stuff, they tend to fall asleep. So that does help. They fall asleep, but we can put them down. And then other times though, they'll make sure you're gonna have to put them on the back because they don't want to be put down. And right now it's been a little difficult too because they're teething, so they've been a little bit more fussier than normal. Rebe a city. I can see that being my problem as well. Yes. Which one are you referring to about the taking care of the babies while like homesteading or while working? Let me see. I don't want to keep my 2-year-old away from plants. Oh, and Sister K, yeah, we have a 2-year-old as well. We were talking about that a little earlier. And he goes near the plants and stuff like that, but he doesn't pull them up. But we take him to plant with us. My master, when he works, our 2-year-old son is with him all the time. Like, he's with the children a little bit of the time, he's with us a little bit of the time, but he's mostly with his father. He follows his father around every single day. And if we are gardening, he follows him around, and my master allows him to plant seeds. Plant seeds with him and do things with him. So he doesn't really pull up the plants, and he gets to see them grow. And so we don't really have that problem with our 2-year-old, because he's actually a part of. Oh, he's a part of everything that we do on the homestead. Our problem with our 2-year-old is getting around the homestead, and I mean, he likes climbing on things and falling. He tends to fall because he's always playing with something, and he likes to play with rocks and stuff and climb on trees, and then, we have to worry about him not getting hurt. That's usually his problem. He likes to play and get into a lot of stuff. But for the far as planting and all that sort of stuff, I mean, he works with us. We start them really young working with us, and they tend to do well. All right, sisters, is there any more questions before we close out this stream? And while I'm waiting to see if there's any more questions, I thank you, sisters, for coming out for the stream. We have a stream. Hey, Fussy, don't fuss. Okay, now he is fussing. Uh-oh, you want to go visit Daddy? Come on. Bye-bye. Okay. But I thank you all for coming out to the stream and stuff. I know we haven't streamed in a while ourselves. But Daughters of Sarah will be back. Like I said, we'll be live streaming either once a month or every other week, I'm sorry. Oh, thank you, Mrs. Tiffany. That is awesome. We appreciate that. That's encouraging. It was kind of cool being back in front of you all again. I'm happy we could share with you all. I'm happy to those who have found this stream edifying. And so I'm glad to see you all again. For those of you in the sisters chat, glad that you all are a part of it. And thank you all for supporting our channel. We appreciate each and every one of you sisters. So I'm going to wait another minute or two to see if there's any more questions. If not, we're going to go on and close this stream out. You're welcome, Sister Kay. Thank you, New World. Oh, thank you, Sister Tanya. You are very encouraging to us too. In the Sisters Fellowship group, I love your postings and the videos and all the little cool things that you do, Sister Tanya. Keep posting. We love it. Yes, ma'am, Sister Phyllis. Thank you too. Yes, ma'am, Sister Tanya. Sister Reby A. City, is that a question or are you sharing? I would hate to miss your question. Is that a question or are you just sharing that statement? Yes, ma'am, Mississippi. We do get very busy. We have a lot of responsibility. Oh, thank you, Sister Veronique. Thank you, Ima Bina. You are welcome. We are so happy, Ima Bina, that you are a part of the Sisters Fellowship group. Okay. Reby a City, I am waiting for your response before I close it out. If you can get to us and let us know, were you asking a question or were you just sharing a statement? I would appreciate that. Thank you. Avia belongs to Benaya girl. Oh, wow. Oh, sorry, I missed this one. Please have others. Shalom. 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 We see your master's name in our master's live stream all the time. Nice to meet you. Yes, we will have more. Thank you. Are you still taking donations for the van?
Oh, for the van.
I will have to ask my master that question. I'll have to ask my master that question. Yeah, I was wondering what van are you referring to, Sister Ema Bina? What are the absolute to have items? Oh,
We actually have the 15 passenger van already. Yah has blessed us with that. We were able to get that. The absolute items to have.
woo. Wow.
It depends on if you're off grid or on grid. That's a deep question.
Yeah, that you know what, Sister Tanya, we probably gonna have to make a video for you. We're gonna have to brainstorm
Yeah.
on that one because it really just depends on. I guess it depends on what your master's vision is.
Yeah.
There are some things that can fit, I guess, generally or overall, and then other things kind of just depends on. I mean, your master's vision. Okay, your master vision and what you're planning on doing, like your plans. Um, because our master, we had certain things, and then we just came out here and worked, and we had to put in a lot of work, and then after a while, we invested in other things. But we'll have to do like a video on that one, Sister Tanya, because yeah, that's a pretty deep question.
Yeah.
It can't be answered in like 5 minutes. Hold on, sweetie.
We can definitely speak about it on the sister's chat though.
Yes, ma'am, we can. Come on, Dewey. We're supposed to be saying goodbye. So the baby's a little fussy right now. But yes, Sister Tanya, we won't forget about that question. We will actually answer that. We'll have to brainstorm and get back to you on that one. Okay, sisters, any more questions?
That's okay, Sister Tanya.
Yes, no problem at all. Yes, and if you have a more, if you wanted to narrow it down to which area that you're talking about, that'll be awesome too, and it'll help us answer the question better. Okay, sisters, how often do you have the sisters chat?
This will be our first day starting back. We're looking, or we're still not decided.
I think you said we're fully decided yet.
It'll likely be every other week or maybe once a month. We have not come to a full decision yet, but when we do, we will definitely do a video on it and let you all know.
Sister New World. That can be a video, but I actually have not done that yet myself. So, but we will. We are actually interested in that, and if we get a technique for you, we'll share. Thank you, Mississippi. Crystal Kepley. Thank you. Look forward to hearing from you again. See you. Thank you. I like the every other week. LOL. Thank you, Abia. We will definitely consider it. Thank you. We would definitely consider doing that. our master will come to the final decision of which one, whether it be every other week or once a month, and we'll let you know, and we'll try to post it ahead of time whenever we're having a stream, and then we'll let you all know ahead of time. If you want to join the sisters chat and you haven't joined already, and you are regularly on this channel, or you haven't been able to get an email to us, there's usually an email that's up in the description, and you can send an email with your phone number and let us know that you are a sister who wanting to join the sisters chat, and our master will get the information to us. Okay, so it looks like we don't have any more questions for tonight, so we're going to close out this stream. It was nice to fellowship with you all again via live stream.
Yes.
And we'll see you all again likely soon.
Soon.
We are back though, and we'll give you the topic in that time. And I hope you all were edified. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Thank you all for your wonderful comments. And it was nice to see everybody excited to be a part of the stream. We hope you all have a productive rest of the week. And with that, we're going to bid you all a shalom.
Shalom.